Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Byte.Bangladesh to get the latest videos on ELT, TESOL, TEFL, Linguistics and Applied Linguistics programs. This is Samuel, Chairman IELT and Head of Linguistics Byte.Bangladesh with ELT program Paper 5, Approaches and Methods of ELT Part 1 Unit A, Introduction to Communicative Language Teaching CLT in ELT. In this video, you will learn about definition, emergence, pioneers, and regions, as well as the goal of communicative language teaching. So, this video is very important and helpful for you. Learn English, buy English, keep watching my English medium videos. I maintain international standard in teaching English. Let's get started. Introduction. Communicative language teaching (CLT) is an approach to the teaching of second and foreign language that emphasizes interaction as both the means and the ultimate goal of learning a language. This method highlights interaction as both the technique and objective of learning a language. It is also referred to as communicative approach to the teaching of foreign language or simply the communicative approach. It strives to attain both what and why of a language. Learners in environments using CLT techniques learn and practice the target language by interaction with one another and with the instructor, by the study of authentic texts, those written in the target language for purposes other than language learning, and by the use of the language both in class and outside of the classes. Learners converse about personal experiences with partners, and instructor teach topics outside of the realm of traditional grammar to promote language skills in all types of situations. That method also claims to encourage learners to incorporate their personal experiences into their language learning environment and to focus on the learning experience in addition to the learning of the target language. According to CLT, the goal of language education is the ability to communicate in the target language. This is in contrast to previous views in which grammatical competence was commonly given top priority. CLT also focuses on the teacher being a facilitator rather than an instructor. Furthermore, the approach is a non-methodical system that doesn't use a textbook series to teach the target language but works on developing sound, oral and verbal skills prior to reading and writing. Why did CLT emerge and establish? The rise of CLT in the 1970s and the early 1980s was partly in response to the lack of success with traditional language teaching methods and partly by increasing in demand for language learning. Successful communication in the target language is the main goal of communicative language teaching. The focus, particularly in the beginning, is on the students communicating an authentic message in their individual context and making themselves understood. Accuracy is important but doesn't need to be the main goal in consider to communicative language teaching. Who are the pioneers of CLT approach? Communicative language teaching was pioneered by British linguists and applied linguists. Among them, the name of Noam Chomsky, Michael Halliday, Dale Hymes, David Wilkins, John Manby, David Noonan, and Council of Europe are the prominent figures to posit, develop, and establish communicative language teaching approach. The dates to mention in emerging communicative language teaching approach. It was Noam Chomsky's theories in 1960s focusing on competence and performance in language learning that gave rise to communicative language teaching. But the conceptual basis of communicative language teaching was laid in the 1970s by the linguist Michael Halliday, who studied how language functions are expressed through grammar. The term communicative competence was first used by Dale Hymes in 1966 in his lecture delivered in a conference on developing the language of the disadvantaged children. Then it was published as a paper entitled on communicative competence in 1972 and published in 2001. The linguist and anthropologist Dale Hymes developed the concept of communicative competence, which redefined what it meant to know a language. Wilkins was one of the first to use the term communicative approach in 1974. The goal of communicative approach. As the quality education develops in the world, foreign language teaching confronts many challenges. The most popular foreign language teaching methods of 1960s like grammar translation method, GTM, audiolingual method, and direct method developed a command of grammar rather than in language forms and rules, but could not develop the speaking abilities of the non-native speaking learners that were based on memorizing language forms. So there was a need of an approach which could help the students grasp how to use target language to communicate appropriately, fluently, and effectively by being more concerned with students' initiative and interaction rather than simply with teacher-centered direction. The most weighted approach came up in the late 1960s was called the Communicative approach, CA. It was originated from the changes in British language teaching tradition dating back from the late 1960s and got its basic premises expanded in mid-1970s. The goal of communicative approach is to improve students' communicative competence, which is widely accepted to consist of grammatical competence, sociolinguistic competence, discourse competence, and strategic competence. Kasu 1989, Koike and Tanaka 1995. Thus, it can be claimed that communicative approach brought about the relevant change of teaching method under the name Communicative Language Teaching, CLT, in which communicativeness became one of the outstanding characteristics of 1970s. Conclusion. Communicative language teaching, CLT, came up at the beginning of the 19th century and formalized in the late 1960s, reflecting the social changes. It is certainly evaluated as a theory in foreign language teaching based on an overall review of its history, theory, and application. Thanks for watching this video.